Cock 45 here. Yes, life is good. It's another Sunday, and here you are wasting your time watching this video. No, it's never a waste of time. If nothing else, it will make you feel smarter, right, by contrast. So appreciate you coming out and appreciate you being here. It's a little breezy, but it always is in January, you know. And I wanted to come out and take a few shots. This looks like the best day of the week, probably weather-wise, and I kind of look ahead and see, okay, what's the day that's going to be suitable to go out and enjoy shooting something? Maybe a Thursday, a Friday, a Wednesday, a Tuesday, just depends on the weather. And I had a couple of guns I wanted to shoot. I'm going to send back the SA-35, the Springfield, this week. You'll see it posted, the video, probably Tuesday, and I'm going to send it back. And I've had it for a while, and I had it all cleaned up, ready to send back, and I think a few more shots. Maybe the last time I actually fire one of these, the Springfield version of it. I don't know. I don't know that I'd buy it. I started to say I don't need one, right? That is usually not the criteria with us gun nuts, is it? But, you know, probably wouldn't buy one because I don't think I would carry one necessarily. If I were going to carry one of these, it would definitely be a contender, okay? Because it's a good shooter, it really is. And watch for the video this week. I hope you're still subscribed. I mean, it seems like every other person said they got unsubscribed. You got to click the bell or whatever you do. And I know that happens to me too on channels I follow. All of a sudden I don't get videos recommended. But I go to their channel and see what they've been doing. But yeah, I brought that out to shoot, and I also brought as you saw in the thumbnail probably, the Glock 43X, that's what it is, and it's ready to fire. So it's in my pocket holster, so it's always ready to fire when it's in there. So I'm going to fire these two today. I wanted to fire it, and for pretty good reason. But anyway, did I say it's Tennessee? Yeah, we're in Tennessee. The home, Chet Atkins, Minnie Pearl, all these country music folks named, right, this week. And also Beretta and Smith & Wesson. And I guess we're from the beautiful hills of Tennessee. We're not quite as beautiful in the winter. That's an understatement. But, you know, to everything there is a season, and there's beauty even in the winter, and seeing all the trees in a different state, right? You get to see all the limbs, the wood, instead of just leaves. But that's the way it is here in Tennessee. We get 4 seasons, and some parts of the country you don't. So, you know, we're in January. It's going to be cold, but in a couple of months actually in March it starts going the other way. So here we are. What are we doing? I don't know. Have no clue. Just going to shoot some and talk about, gosh, you know, Talon grips, which you saw on my Glock 43, Ballistol. Also, you don't mind if I do a little drinking today, do you? I don't drink whiskey very often, but I thought maybe this is actually a Ballistol. I don't know if you've seen these. This is their classic bottle, you know, that I guess it first came out in. And I can't read any of the German on that, but some of you can maybe. That's pretty neat. They sent us these, and I said, I think they sent us, yeah, a couple of years ago we showed you one. I think got a couple more in the mail. It's really neat. Neat bottle, cork, Ballistol. That's the juice. Yeah. So, and as I understand, it's the same juice, whether it's in an aerosol can, it's in the liquid bottle, whatever it's in, it's the same stuff. Okay. So anyway, we appreciate everybody that helps us out. And by the way, Buds is handling our hats. I think I might have mentioned that. They were out of stock, but I think they've got some more in. They're getting them in now and getting them the patches on, that kind of thing. But you can reserve orders on those. So Buds is taking care of that for us. We may be offering a few other things, Hickok 45 merchandise through them. So keep track of that, and we appreciate them doing that. You know what else I'm going to shoot? Or what I'm doing, why I'm here, why do I exist? Good question, right? All right. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to magazines. I admit it. I came through those years with 1911s, shot a lot of 1911s in the 70s and 80s, and there was a time period where if you were not using a Colt magazine, okay, for 1911, because Colt was about it for 1911. When I first bought my Series 70, I don't know, see that was in like 73 or 4, the first one I bought, and I got rid of it and got another one a year or two later. I'm not sure Springfield was making them at that time, were they? Early mid-70s? I didn't know of them, didn't see them if they were. So it was pretty much Colt, you know. And there were some people making aftermarket magazines. You could get some cheap GI mags or just different mags, but you would quite often have trouble with them, right? They would not be as reliable as Colt magazines, right? Times have changed. Who in the world looks for Colt magazines necessarily for their 1911? Oh man, I got to get some 1911 mags, and it's got to be Colt. That's not the case now. Now they still make good magazines, I think, but there are so many companies that make really, really good high quality magazines and also make 1911s and everything else. So that changed. It did. I've been that way with so many cars just because of that experience. Glock, Glock magazines work. So yeah, why trust anything else? They are phenomenal in their reliability. In fact, the Glock magazines. And so we got, I think Magpul makes one. There's another company or two that makes them. And unless they're like way cheaper or something, it's kind of like why? I don't want to mix them up and mess them. I wouldn't carry them. Now for the range or something, I'd be fine. But it's not like they're half price. I don't think. I mean, not to criticize them. It's fine. It's great. The more magazines, the better that work. Well, I've not been too anxious. I've had 1 million people recommend, hey, get the Shield magazine, Shield Arms magazines for your Glock 43. And I don't know, Glocks work. And plus, I saw a very scathing report on them from somebody on YouTube a while back. And not that you believe everything you see right on the internet. But it was somebody who had seen a lot of failures with them. So I don't know. It's not a big deal. Nothing for me to lose sleep over because I know Glock magazines work. They're reliable. I've got Glock magazines. Yeah, they don't have quite the capacity. So I've been reluctant to change. But anyway, I saw another video recently. I don't know, Firearms blog or somewhere. Somebody was reviewing the second generation of them. May have been that crazy Reeves guy, James Reeves. He's funny, but he's very good. Is what he does. I'm not making fun of him. He's a really, really clever guy. He may have been somebody else, but anyway, they've got the second generation now, Gen 2 of those things, and I'm assuming whatever issues there were, if there were any, they've addressed them. I don't know. Anyway, and I've talked to a couple of people that have been using them and not had trouble with them. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy some of those, if for no other reason, just to test them, just to go ahead. Because it'd be cool to have 15 rounds in a Glock 43X, And so I bought 3 of them. right? Yeah, I got 3 of them. I got the high power mag on mixing. Yeah, so I bought 3 of them, and I even ordered with these the mag release, the metal mag release. That was another thing I didn't necessarily want to do. You're supposed to change out the mag release button to a metal one if you use these metal magazines, okay, or it'll wear out the polymer mag release button, and supposedly, and so I did it. I thought I'm gonna experiment with them and try them, and I've shot just a couple of them dry, that's all, and didn't have any trouble. Well, I think it was the same magazine twice, emptied it twice, and it seemed to work. And so anyway, I need to find out. So that's why I'm here. That's why I exist. Right? So let's. That's the thing. I need to shoot this a little bit before I send it back, and I want to be in the process of testing these magazines. I'm just shooting 124 grain Federal, and I have no reason to doubt them now or to, I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be my gun or the ammo if I have trouble with one, and I've not had trouble yet. So let's just take a few shots, see how they work. Yeah. Like I said, I was carrying it. It is an interesting experience. I keep expecting to run out of ammo with this little thing, and it doesn't run out of ammo. So there's 15 or 14 or whatever I had. I have noticed the last round really is tough to get. I've just been putting 14 in them. And somebody I talked to at Royal Range that he carries a Glock 48 with him, and he said he hadn't had any trouble. And, so anyway, let me let him know if I do, of course, and I will. But let's try another one, okay? Glock 43X. I keep saying 43, but... Right. I wounded him. All right, there's 2 of them. No trouble so far. So, how many rounds do you need to fire through a, well, I shouldn't say a firearm. It really depends, doesn't it? Before you feel comfortable with carrying it for a defensive pistol. Okay, so what I was getting at, if I were to buy a new Glock 19 tomorrow, I wouldn't have to fire very many rounds before I'd feel comfortable carrying it. Geez, a box, 2 shots. I mean, they just always work. Unless there's something broken on it, it's going to be incredibly reliable. All right, and I'm going to find that out with just a few shots probably. Right, so I don't feel like I got to shoot a new firearm. And I'm not just Glock. It could be anything, an M&P or a Ruger, a SIG. If it's a firearm that there's no giant history of it, of malfunctioning, or falling apart after 100 rounds or something, if it works, it's probably going to work as well as any of them, okay? And any of them could malfunction. Sometimes weird things happen. What was it? The SIG P365 XL. In the recent video we posted, I had 1 round not go off, and you just never know. For those who don't shoot, your guns get dirty, or even on an early round count, maybe a piece of the mouth of a case for some reason peels off. You get this little sliver of brass or something that stays in the chamber, and it prevents the next round from going fully into battery or something, almost, or just whatever it could be, or something get in the firing pin channel. And then you don't know what the deal was. And then the next 1,000 rounds, it works flawlessly. You just don't know. So that kind of thing can happen. Still bothers you, though, doesn't it? Bothers me. So how many rounds did it take? So this is kind of an experimental magazine. It's an aftermarket magazine. So I'm sort of asking you, but I'm asking myself, when am I going to feel really confident carrying it? For one thing, the internet's a wonderful thing. If you didn't know that, you can find all kinds of information there, videos and everything else. And I have seen a lot of people talk about how they don't have any problem with them. Again, I've seen a bad report or two, but I also see a lot of people that carry them and say they've not had issues on how much they shoot. Some people have a interesting memory, right? Yeah, I fired at thousands of rounds, and it's really just been 100. So you just don't know for sure till you experiment yourself, right? And that's what I'm doing. Let's shoot it a couple more times here. All right, cowboy. Let me come out of my pocket. Put the pocket holster carefully. I mean, it's another advantage trying out these mags. I'm practicing with my carry gun, one of my key carry guns, right? All right, no problem yet, right? Let me load another mag here as I'm yakking at you. I just had the 3, and I'll order a couple more if I feel like they're going to work fine. I'm not buying trouble. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't know anybody at Shield Arms, and nobody's been mean to me over there that I'm aware of. There's probably a lot of people that have on the internet I'm not aware of. I don't know anybody there, and one way or the other. And so I just thought I owe it to myself, because I've been avoiding them. I mean, really, I have. I'm a Glock snob. I'm not a Glock snob, but I'm a magazine snob for sure. I've had too many mags, cheap mags or aftermarket mags through my history of shooting that were not up to par with the manufacturer's mag, the manufacturer of the firearm I'm getting at. So many of you have not really come through that era where that was as critical. But most of you know there are mags that are less reliable than others. Companies that make aftermarket mags, some are better than others, right? Well, these are definitely, the thing about these, it's a little different than, say, aftermarket mags, even for a big old gun like this or some competition gun. A 43X is probably a carry gun for somebody, right? If you buy a Glock 43X, it's probably a defensive firearm, right, for you. So it ups the ante a bit, it raises the bar. So what was I going to talk about? I hope you saw the Mauser video this week, that Russian capture. I hadn't brought that out for a while. In fact, John owns that now. That was a gun I traded him, I think, for that SP1 AR-15, that Colt. I traded him about 3 guns for that thing. That was a valuable AR. And I've got the other, the one that's on the table in that video, K98. I guess that's the only, it's the only K98 I have. How many do you need? Yeah, a little hypocritical for me to say, right? How many Colt single actions do you need? How many Glocks do you need? But, in that rifle, I'm happy with just one good one. I've got the G98. I like those. But anyway, that's a nice Russian capture, I have to say. I got to watch some of that video myself, yeah, which I hate to watch my own videos. But that gun, the guns are the stars, of our videos, and I got to looking at that thing just as I was, loading up right. I was like, wow, it's a beautiful piece of machinery. Mauser, it's hard to beat, isn't it? It's funny how some people still think that the Mosin Nagant is a better gun. Well, it works, but there's no comparison. If you've ever fired a Mauser and messed with it, and a Mosin Nagant, they're just a couple of different universes, aren't they? Yeah, they really are. But they both work. So it's kind of funny. So, I also want to remind you, last week I quoted some poetry, and I gave the wrong author. Someone pointed that out. I'm glad they did, because I knew it was Denise Levertov, not Sylvia Plath. I knew that. It's Denise Levertov. I don't know where I got Sylvia Plath in my brain, because I used to teach English, and there were a couple of well-known female poets, and I don't know. I got her in my head. It wasn't because she was necessarily hot or something. Maybe she was, but it's Denise Levertov. And anyway, so I didn't know about Bob Saget. I'm clueless in some ways. I could not have told you who Bob Saget was. Many of you probably can, and it was a huge loss for you in your world. I couldn't have told you who he was. I'm a little surprised, because I have learned more about some comics just because John's so involved in it. But I'd heard the name, I think, but I didn't. I'm almost proud to say I never watched sitcoms, and never have. All through my life, it's like I'm in an alternate universe. I could go through any era, the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, if I could even remember them. I remember the decades, but I don't remember all the sitcoms. But there was always, especially back then, they were even a bigger deal. You didn't have maybe as many cable channels and all the options, but I can think of, what was that series, Silver Spoons, with Michael J. Fox was in. I don't think I ever saw an episode of it. But I remember that was all the rage, and even Seinfeld. I've seen an episode or two, but I'm not, and I like them. But there were some others. The last sitcom I really remember watching, and maybe watching it, lots of times, was like All in the Family or something, with Archie Bunker or something. But I've never seen an episode of Full House, is what I'm getting at. Or America's Funniest Home Videos, or whatever it was that Bob Saget, did. I just don't watch that stuff, and so unless I had heard of him as a comic, which I hadn't, or seen him, so I didn't even know who it was that died. Isn't it amazing? Because many of you, is probably a huge loss to you. It's part of your childhood, maybe. I understand that. Like when John Lennon was killed, and various musicians die, it's just wow. It's just a piece of your life. Some of those people are they're the soundtrack of my teenage years, or my 20s or 30s, or of half my life. Paul McCartney, he's the soundtrack of my whole life. And folks like that. And so I understand that you feel like you really know them. You really do. But it's just kind of ironic. I didn't even know who it was. Something. I'm not usually that far out of touch with people that are that famous, but I couldn't have told you. Well, anyway, sad. You never know when your number's up. It's all the more reason, do things the right way. Make your life count. Don't be a slacker. Don't be a schmuck. And take care of things where they ought to be taken care of. And we're all just here for a little while. So, oh, by the way, did you hear about the new federal cartridge? Yeah, 30 super carry, right? Yeah. So another cartridge. Interesting. I think, well, they're going to send us some, and we'll get a gun, maybe from them, I don't know, something, and try it out. But it's interesting. Whenever there's a new cartridge, it kind of goes the same way. For the first week or so, it's just like all you hear about, for understandable reasons. We're all in the shooting game and into firearms, and so when there's something like that comes along, it is very interesting. Everybody has an opinion on it, and whatever. I've been through a lot of that. Of course, you get the Valkyrie, you got any number, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 40. I was looking forward to the 40 Smith & Wesson. I was competing USPSA at the time, and it sounds great. You can a gun the same size as a Glock 19, you can make major with it and all this kind of thing, and still good capacity and great carry gun and everything. It came out, I remember buying some factory ammo. That's all you could get. Little boxes of 20 and going and shooting them in a match. You know, got me a Glock 22, and it was all the rage. And so you never know which one's going to really take. That one, it did take. Now people think the 40 is dead. I don't necessarily think it is. It's a good cartridge, but so anyway, some cartridges come after the hoopla's gone. They drift away, and some don't. Just depends. And there's not I don't get excited one way or the other, and I'm reluctant to make fun of a cartridge and new chambering. Oh, look, we needed that, or whatever it is. Yeah. Well, look at all the cartridges we have. Oh, wow. You've seen those big boards where they have all the rifle cartridges, you know, and then the handgun cartridges, you know, this wide with 20, 30, 50, 100, 300, you know, different pistol rounds. And, you know, there's not a lot of difference between some of them, but there's always another niche, you know, so it might fit. It might be more attractive to me than some people, just because of my mindset about a defensive pistol. I don't know. I'd have to shoot it and see what I think about it for myself. I don't see a big problem with, like, the 327, was it the Federal Magnum, whatever, you know. I've thought about one of those, and a pocket revolver might make a lot of sense. Pretty nice ballistics, like my little 642 holds 5. It would hold 6 of those, you know, and I think Smith makes some of those, right? I lose track of what's out there, but, you know, that would probably make more sense than 38 Special, for example. Even though it's not a high demand round, there's not a lot of hoopla about it anymore. I don't know. And the 30 super carry, you know, if it's ballistically closer to 9 than it is 380, you can get a couple more rounds in a mag, maybe in a little pocket gun. It makes, maybe in a gun like this, you know, like instead of 15, well, let's say with the standard mag of 10, if it held 12 or something, or 13 or something. You know, I don't know if the ballistics are, you know, close enough. I think there are so many shooters that there will be probably a niche for that as well. A lot of people like to think the 40 is dead. I found out, when was it? We posted a video and I talked about that. I don't know what video it was we did, not all that long ago, but it brought all that up, the 40 and 9 and everything. And what was I doing? Maybe it was the day I brought out the Glock 23 and shot it. I hadn't shot for a while. I don't know. But I discovered a lot of people still love the 40 and carry it, and love the Glock 23 and other 40 caliber pistols, and they swear by it. You know, they've not gone to 9mm, you know. So, you know, it's just interesting with how many millions of shooters, you know, there's a lot of folks. Anyway, it's interesting. Another round coming out. We'll learn more about it as guns come out in it. People shoot and experiment with it. So what was I doing? Oh, I got ammo loaded. Let's shoot some more. Okay. If I forgot to tell you anything that you're dying to hear about, I don't know about John's comedy, anything going on there. And so let me take a shot. Okay, I'm gonna come out of the pocket again. Yeah. Glock 43X is, that's another one in the video. What video was that? Was it on the Micro 9s? We compared some of those. I discovered that this little gun, I learned to like it, you know, before the Chapter 2 video. I didn't trash it in the first video with it, but I think I said I didn't see a place for it. By this Chapter 2, I found a place for it, and I really, really like it. And many, many of you really like the 43X, that's for sure. So I just got my hands in my pockets because it's cold. I don't have a gun, I promise. Oh, do I? Oh, wait a minute. Almost forgot. Let's shoot that badge, SDI badge. And let's shoot something else out here. Woo! Nice. Hmm. You know, I'm thinking these might be more accurate than the Glock mags. Huh. If I use that joke enough. There's somebody, I guarantee you, who doesn't get it. There is somebody who doesn't realize that's a joke. And I shouldn't make fun of them because it's probably somebody who doesn't know anything much about firearms yet. So we don't want to, I like to mess with people, but I don't really want to make fun of really probably anybody. I don't want to talk down, even though I'm 6'8", I don't want to talk down to people, especially new shooters, be condescending and that kind of thing. We probably all do that too much when we are more knowledgeable about some area, you know. If I do it, it's not because I'm acting big or like I'm so knowledgeable, know more than you or something like that. I just there's so much I don't know. I think of that vast amount of stuff about firearms I don't know. That's what's, you know, for me, I see it as cup half empty. I mean, there's so much about firearms that I don't know, but someone who would fall for that. Whenever I make that crack about a magazine being less accurate than another one, I guess I point those kinds of cracks at people who they have some experience with fire, maybe a fair amount, and I like to catch people like off guard because there's someone probably thinking, "What? Really? Is it a magazine? No, he's messing." You know, that's a kind of. But you know, someone who doesn't know anything about guns, you know, why would they not think that's real? Maybe, you know. So I don't mean to pick on those people. It's their own fault for not knowing anything about firearms, right? Okay. You can't walk on eggshells or you'd never make a joke, you know? Okay, talking too much. Well, another mag. So this will be what, the 3 plus 3. Where's my calculator? That'll be 6 magazines. All right. Just lay a couple of them out here. All right, 6 mags. So would you put, well, say carry ammo, my HST carry ammo in one of these and carry it and be confident that it's going to work if you need it? Maybe so. I mean, not just based on my 6 Matt, well, see, that's 8, I guess, total that I fired and without any trouble. You know, I mean, I guess I'm good. I'd probably do it, carry it. You know, and if I got killed because the magazine, you know, malfunction, I just wouldn't carry it again. You know, so you know, would be that. So. We'll see. So I think they got a new follower. The first one's had an orange follower, I think. So if it has the gray follower, I'm not sure what else they did to them. Again, I'm not that knowledgeable about them. I'm kind of late to the game, intentionally on these, and I think initially they were really hard to come by, and so you know I'm not going to beat the bushes and try to find one because I don't think I'd even trust them probably, you know, it's not a Glock magazine. So I just kind of ignored them for a long time, but they were in stock, and so okay, I'll get those, and then change out I had to go to of all my Glock experience since the late 80s, I'm ashamed to admit it. Well, I'm not ashamed, but I have never taken out a mag release. I never have. I never had a reason to. I really, in all the Glocks I've owned, I wasn't even sure how to do it. I kind of thought I maybe ran across something at one time and thought, oh, that's weird, the way that's put in there. So I had to go to this place called YouTube and look up some videos on it. And it was tricky. I had trouble getting in there and I was about to give up, in fact, but I was using these old dental tools and little screwdrivers, and I finally got that thing over. It is kind of awkward to do. I got that little pin over and was able to do it. I mean, it's pretty simple. You just got to. The hardest part is just getting that pin pulled out of the that holds it in, puts the pressure on. So I put that in there, and there we go. And it's fine. I'm not big on aftermarket parts on Glocks, as you know, I mean, of any kind really. The sights are fine, and these mags, if they work, because they do add 5 rounds or at least 4. But if a mag release, okay, mag release sort of either works or it doesn't, and it's not a complicated part. It's a little different from changing out the striker, or the barrel, some aftermarket, trigger and different things that, if they're not right, you could have some trouble, But so anyway, it's rare that I change out a part on a Glock. That's for sure. So that's good. That's good news. Oh, do I have any advice for kids, young people? No, probably not. I've been seeing just things. I'm reminded all the time, and I want to slap myself upside the head. Again, young people, I am not a financial advisor, okay? And I'm not giving advice. You have to always disclaimer. But if you're young, and by that could be 18, it could be 28, it could be 38. But if you're in the younger category, and you are not saving money, investing it, just basic standard index funds or whatever, to where you're getting 8-10% a year historically, and if you're not into that, boy, learn about it. It's not that hard. It's simple, and start that coming out regular every week. It's just amazing the difference between doing that when you're 20 or 30 versus waiting till you're 50 or something. I watched this video and reminded, the video popped up from the Money Guys, moneyguy.com, or the Money Guys. They're out of Franklin, Tennessee, and they're financial planners or advisors, and I guess they're fiduciaries. They're not. I don't know if they're fee only or fee based or where they fall, but they have this thing where they talk about how $1 you put away, invest it, and when I say invest, that scares some people. All you got to do is set up an account on one of the TD Ameritrade or whatever, like I have, or somewhere else, and just have an automatic withdrawal. Okay, and it's so simple, and go into some index fund like an S&P 500 or a Vanguard, VTI, whatever it is, all market in, something like that. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've read enough, I've studied enough that even the experts can't beat these really good, just these general index funds. They can't beat them. By the time you add in their fees for managing it, all that kind of stuff, it's been proven over and over and over. But anyway, have that taken out and get started. If it's just $50 a month, if it's just $100 a month, do it now. If you're not doing that, do it. But anyway, the Money Guys, they have this thing where they remind you that $1 put away into any fund like that at age 20 becomes $88. Historically and on average, it becomes $88 when you retire. 65. 88. So again, you put in 10,000, take 88 times that. That's what that would become. If history of decades and decades or a century is any indicator, okay? So anyway, $1 becomes 88 if you start at age 20. Okay, $1 put in at age 20 becomes 88 generally. At age 30, that same dollar you put in will become 23, I think it is, by the time you're 65. 23. That's quite a difference. At age 40, that dollar becomes $7 at retirement. So you see the difference. You see why time and not putting it off is so critical. I wish I had known that when I was a dumb 20-year-old, a dumb 30-year-old, really. I mean, if you make any income at all, I mean, you can be on the road to be a millionaire, you know, when you're 65. You know, I mean, you should. You want to be, right? Because you need to be by then. By the time you're 65, if you're 25 right now, that won't even be $1 million like it is now, right? So anyways, you see the difference? You can't make up that time. You can't make it up. You can't. You know, time, that compound interest is like magic. It's like magic, really. So the real tragedy would be if you have a pretty good income, or whatever your income is, and you're 20 years old, and you could be putting like even $1,000 a month aside a month. I mean, that's or 10,000. I don't know whatever you make, because it's just going to grow, and it's going to grow whatever age you are. But it takes this curve. You look at the curves on this stuff, and it starts out and it just gradually moves up, and then towards those later years, when you're in like your 50s or 60s, it just shoots up. But you got to start now for it to shoot up that much. Okay, it's good anytime, but you got to start early. So that's just. Please do it, and that comes from my own experience, really, as much as anything. How if I could get in a time machine, well, if I had a time machine, I could solve a lot of problems. But if you could get in a time machine, go back to when you're 20 and start to, putting that money aside and putting it in a fund, simple fund, index fund, it's just amazing. You can be an investment genius, so simply as by starting early. All right. And that's my advice for young people and anybody. So I don't know of anything else to tell you. I really don't. Gosh, am I out of information? Should I shoot this? You know what? I need to shoot this. Oh yeah, I have a mag loaded for the Springfield. This will be the last mag I'll shoot before it goes back. Is it getting dark on me? I'm sorry. I started too late today, didn't I? All right. Yeah, that thing is not malfunction. We shot a fair amount, videos, and I'm gonna clean it up, send it back to Bud's. But a nice gun. If you're looking for a high power clone to carry, or for a defensive gun, this ought to be a good choice. It really ought to be. It's really better than I've got that classic model made in 1952 that I wouldn't trade for this. It's just neat. I love it. But if I were going to carry a Browning high power, I was looking for one to carry, that'd be a good choice. Maybe some of the later choices that were made in like year 2000, 2010, I don't know. I've not really looked at those much. The later versions of the FN, or whoever makes them, the copies of it, they may have some of these same features where they improved the beaver tail, and the feed ramp is more suited to hollow points, and they did away with the magazine disconnect, that kind of thing. So anyway, watch for the video coming soon. All right, coming very soon. In fact, it'll be the next video, I think, after the one you're looking at right now, right? So I just wanted to shoot it before we send it back, and it comes with one mag. Now that's my mag, and here's the mag that comes with it. I'll put it back in there. All right, that'll go back to Buzz. I'll put it back in the sock. I take care of these guns that I get on loan. I'll clean it up real well tomorrow. And okay, so I'll shoot one more mag, one more the shield. I'll load one more time. Okay, and I might just carry it. So anything else you want to know about? Yeah, not much, right? Boy, well, hope you're getting a chance to shoot a little bit. I was in a big box store. Actually, this morning, I was looking for just an ammo. I needed a couple of ammo cans. That's the only reason I was in there. And I noticed they had a lot of 223, 5.56. They had a lot of 9mm. Now it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't as bad as it has been. So I don't know. things seem to be getting a little better, but you know, they're a long way from being back to normal, right? I hope it gets back to normal. Sure do. Yeah, I really like this little, I like that. I'll tell you what, it's coming, as far as my pocket guns, probably my three favorite, I don't know, my 642 of semi-automatics. I think my two favorite ones are this, the 43X, and the SIG, you know, P365 XL probably. So I don't know. It's a tough call, and there's others I like. Okay. All right. So that's 9 magazines without any trouble. And it is starting to get dark. Okay. Maybe I'll just stay here until it gets totally dark, and then you'll just hear me talking. That'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I'll let you go. I really do appreciate y'all coming out and watching the videos, all the videos, any of the videos. And I know, I mean, it's just a constant drumbeat of people telling me that they're getting unsubscribed, I know. And I don't know what that's about. I mean, it'd be easy to see a conspiracy in that, wouldn't it? So I don't know if it's, I know I'm bad about resubscribing or clicking the bell, as they say. I'm bad about that. And I lose track of people. I'm losing my voice right now. I'm talking too much. But, so anyway, hope you stay in contact and stay connected. You know, as long as y'all are coming and watching these goofy videos, we'll keep doing them. You know, I'm still getting a lot of comments about, I posted another video on Rumble, and I just got about 3 over there, just trying to experiment with it. We already put everything on Gunstreamer and then on YouTube, and as I've told people, I can't be posting these things all over the place. It's just the upload process and getting it all set up, and you know, and I understand. I've seen comments, people actually getting like mad that almost that we're not leaving YouTube and going to Rumble or one of the other places. Well, we're not going to Rumble, same reason we're not going to Gunstreamer or some other place. I mean, it's easy to say that, you know, for people to say, yeah, well, don't you support freedom, or you know, come to Rumble, or come somewhere else, you know. Well, yeah, it's just that everybody's on YouTube, Google, they're looking for stuff. It's just where, you know, if you want to be seen, whatever you're doing, it's just common sense. You're going to post where the people are, you know. I mean, you know, we could take it upon ourselves to lead the charge away or go somewhere else, and you know, instead of, you know, getting 100,000 or 1 million views on a video, getting 239 views, you know, and not having any revenue from it or whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is that, you know, I'm just not motivated to do that, you know. It might come to that. If it does, certainly we'll do it. But, you know, it's just easy for somebody to say, to jump somewhere when they don't have anything at stake, you know. So, and a lot of people just don't think about that. But anyway, yeah, I have nothing against these other sites. And in fact, I posted a video or 2 over there on Rumble just to see how it works a long time ago, and then that's a couple of short things, and I may continue to pop a video over there every now and then, just make sure we have a presence. And if it came to it, we had to go there, Gunstreamer exclusively, easy for me to say, or somewhere else. You know, one thing I've noticed too about all the other platforms except Gunstreamer, they're more awkward to use. You know, like, it was one of the problems with Full 30. It's fine. Finally they gave up, and I think they've improved some maybe, but they were. It was just awkward to you know, to set up there and change descriptions. We have thousands of videos on YouTube. I can redo the template and change every video description, at once. And you can't, at least at the time, couldn't do it there. And so I've got videos over on Full 30 still, I guess, and some of the video descriptions make no sense, or they've not been updated in years, because you can't. Let's go into each one individually, or maybe you can now, I don't know. But anyway, the platform also needs to be easy to work with, and all the various things. But anyway, who knows where we'll all be in 5 years or 10 years, and there are new things out there now. There's new platforms coming. One of the negatives of this high-tech world and the platforms is that everybody's in the same place. Like, what was it? MySpace. If you remember MySpace, everybody was on MySpace. I don't know if I ever was. And then everybody gravitated toward Facebook. It looked a little better, and once people started moving, everybody moved to Facebook because everybody's on Facebook, right? Well, I kind of see that changing now with the various platforms, like Dave Rubin's Locals, and you got Rumble. We got different places people are going because it's free, or there's more freedom there, and I think we're going to see things more fragmented, and so it's kind of weird, what if you hang out on Facebook with some of your family, and your family's all there, and some of you decide to leave and go here, and some go over there, and some go to that platform, and then all of a sudden you're not keeping up with your family like you used to, unless you have accounts on all those places and go to all those places and try to see what Aunt Martha's doing now. You see, so there is actually an advantage to having a monolithic platform, where we all are, if they observe freedom, and they don't penalize people for having a different point of view. So it's a weird place we are. It really is. I don't know what's going to happen, where it'll be, in 10 years, but I may not be making videos, or may not be doing anything in 10 years. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And so I'll post a video or two over on Rumble now and then. We post everything on Gunstreamer, everything on YouTube, and you can't post all over the world. Keep up with it for certain. So I really appreciate you all finding us and keeping up with us, and we'll keep doing what we do. It's fun. It is fun to shoot. It's fun to share interesting firearms with you all, and even in the dark. It is interesting. It doesn't. I noticed in looking at a video, like right now, I'm saying it's getting dark. Well, it really is getting a low light, but this camera picks up a lot of light, and so you don't notice as much. I've seen videos like that where towards the end of the video it was getting about like this, and I mentioned it was getting dark, and as I looked at the video, it looks like I must be drinking because it's not dark, right? But it does pick up a lot of light. What you notice more than anything, I think, is movement and clarity, of things as it begins to lose light. But it looks a lot more light to you right now than it does to me. That's the point I was trying to make. And get the sniffles. I don't know. I did get the jab, of course, and I've told you all that. I have a 95-year-old mother-in-law and everything, so I went ahead to make the decision and went ahead with that. But I don't have any symptoms of it or anything. I sometimes wonder. I get the sniffles more easily, I think, than I used to. So if there is any side effect from it, that's the only thing I have noticed. Even if it's not all that cold, it seems to happen. I don't know, but anyway. So, and I've been healthy. Knock on wood for sure. I haven't had a cold in so long, since back before Well, it'd been in 2019, if I did. I don't remember back then if I did have one, and haven't had anything. So, boy, you shouldn't say that aloud, should you? I shouldn't say that aloud. So, but as things are going now, we're realizing it's going to get around to everybody apparently. So I'm expecting probably to get it because I'm just living my life like I normally do. I'm not hiding and wearing face diapers or anything, so I'll probably get it, and that's okay. It's a choice that most people are making now, at least in this part of the country. It's interesting how it's so different around the country, but most people are just kind of going on with their lives now and realizing that there's no way to totally avoid it. And if you have comorbidities and you have issues like that, you need to do the best you can to avoid it. But the rest of us just go ahead and live our lives and let the chips fall. So anyway, I'm rambling. And it's too chilly to be rambling. So I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a great Sunday and a great week. I hope you get a chance to shoot. If not, just get some firearms out and clean them, as I advise you quite often. I have some to clean now, so I get to do that. No, I really enjoy talking to you all, and y'all are kind of quiet, but that's okay. It's okay. You're sitting there at your computer or at the TV eating pizza while I'm out here freezing and trying to talk to you, but that's all right. I get to shoot out here, so I can't complain. Life is good.